Hi, I'm Erin. Today I'm going to show you my homeschool area of my living room, and I'm also going to show you the parts of the Beka Academy homeschool program, and I'll show you how I set up the homeschool on a day-to-day basis and how to organize it at the beginning when you get it. First, I want to show you everything that you get with the Beka curriculum. We signed up for 1 semester, which includes 2 boxes of DVDs in the mail. If you do the second semester, they'll send you 2 more boxes halfway through the year. This one is lessons 1 through 61. This one is lessons 62 through 121, and that's only the first half of the kindergarten 5-year-old year. Those you have to send back halfway through, and they'll send you new ones, which you also have to send back at the end of the year. Their curriculum also comes with all of these workbooks, which is in this box, and all of these teacher editions, which is in this box. In addition to that, it comes with cards with Bible memory verses, 1 memory verse for each letter of the alphabet, number cards for math, letter cards for phonics, and also readers for phonics. In addition to that, you get flashcards that are made of cardstock, and those have the letters of the cursive alphabet and then numbers 1 through 10 written in cursive. This is my homeschool curriculum supply box. This is where I keep everything that I will need for each lesson every day. In here, I keep the resources from the curriculum, the alphabet cards, the number cards, and the Bible memory verse cards. In these folders, I will label them with each lesson number and put in all the worksheets that I will need for that lesson. I also have a cursive writing dry erase board that I found at a garage sale. I have dry erase markers for that. Crayons. These little pipsqueak markers are real little. I like those. And then my daughter likes to write with these Crayola Twistables because they're colored, and she likes to do her cursive writing with them and her worksheets with them. They're just a little bit more fun than a traditional pencil. I also have pencils, scissors, glue stick. Those are for the art projects. I keep all of the homeschool curriculum that I'm not using for the day in these 2 boxes on this shelf. That way it doesn't look like I have anything in the living room set out. In here I have 1 box full of the workbooks, and I've torn out all of the pages already and put them back in, and that will make it easier to stuff my folders that I do every 2 weeks. And in the other box I'll have my teacher manuals, any of the cursive flashcards I'm not using, this writing tablet I don't really use, and then the science workbook and readers that we haven't gotten to in the first 15 lessons that we've done. I like to organize myself every 2 weeks. I have 10 file folders in my supply box, and once every 2 weeks I like to stuff them with all of the worksheets that I will need. This is the 5-year-old kindergarten video manual, and this is the resource that you will use to show you what is in every single lesson. What I've done, I've gone through and highlighted the things that I will need to prepare for each lesson. Let's take lesson 32 for example. Has a lot of words not highlighted. The only things I've highlighted for each section is what I will need to pull out of the homeschool curriculum and put into a file folder, as well as crayons, pencils, and things that they tell me that I will need for the lesson. Other things in the video manual include things like have words ready for a student, and so you will need to make word lists to put in your folders. In this one, I put all of these words on flashcards that I will put in the individual folder for whatever lesson number it says to have them ready for. The easiest way I have found to stuff all of my 10 lesson file folders for the 2-week time period is to put a piece of Scotch tape on the tab of each folder, and then I will write down the lesson numbers that I'm on. I've done lessons 1 through 15 already, so I will be doing lessons 16 through 25 today. In each of the workbooks, the lesson number is down here at the bottom by the page number. I know that my file folders these next 2 weeks go from 16 to 25. So in this Letters and Sounds book, I'll pull out the 19, 23, but I'll leave 27 because my folders this week only go through 25. This does not mean there's only 2 worksheets per day. This one, page 15, is lesson 19. That will go in 19's file folder. On the back, it's lesson 22. So whenever my daughter finishes this page, I will not throw it away, but put it in file folder number 22 at the end of day 19. The writing tablet is not going to have lessons at the bottom. It's just for extra practice. This is in addition to the writing with phonics, and they will get one of these worksheet pages every single day in their writing lessons. So because these don't have lesson numbers, what you can do is take 1 page per day and put it into that lessons file folder. I wouldn't do this at the same exact time you do the other writing lessons. Maybe wait until the end in case you need some extra writing practice. Art Projects book is another book that I do out of order. We started homeschooling in May, and as you can see, these art projects start in September. So for lesson 1, it's a September themed activity, and right now it's around Father's Day, and there's a Father's Day activity. So something that I might do is pop in the video for the Father's Day lesson and then have her work on that instead of whatever activities on the video for our art time today. So what you get is a direction sheet, and it says what you need, and it tells you if you need a page from the book, and then it also says what else other art supplies you need, for instance scissors or a sandwich size reusable bag. And it's really good to plan ahead on these because there's a lot of supplies that I did not have in my house. For instance, pom-poms or pipe cleaners, things like that. So make sure you look at what you need before you start the project. Also, it says what to do here, but you don't really need this. What you need to do if you have a Beka Academy is pop in the video of the lesson that it says on the very bottom. So here's where it says the lesson 37. That's the video you'll pop in, and it does not say art on the video. It says activity time. So find the correct day, click on activity time, and then the teacher will go through the lesson with her, and the teacher will actually tell her exactly what to do and when to do it. Sitting through all 8 video segments is kind of tiresome for a 4-year-old doing the kindergarten 5-year-old curriculum. So what we did is we chose her best subject, and we're not watching the videos, but instead just doing 2 worksheets per day. Numbers is my daughter's best subject, so as you can see, we are on lesson 40. So I will just take this page and put it in lesson 16's folder, and we will do the front and the back of it. Sometimes it will be 2 different lessons on it, and sometimes it will skip a lesson. Like this one has 42 on the front and 44 on the back. And that's because that video segment might not have done a worksheet that day. I did preview the video segments to see what she'd be missing, and it's just counting. The first 10 lessons was just counting through 10. The second one's counting through 20. There is some time, and so I feel like this is one that I can teach her myself and go a little bit faster than the rest of the curriculum, just because she's pretty good at it. So what I'll do is I will take one worksheet and put it in each of my lessons folders 16 through 25. When I first started using the curriculum, I would put each of these letter cards in the folders as well, and I would put whatever they were learning and working on that day. However, I noticed that they build on each other, and the teacher goes back and uses all the letter cards that they've worked on at any given lesson. So what I do now is I take all the letter cards we've learned so far and put it in the first folder of the day. Tomorrow, after we finish this lesson, I will take all those cards plus any more that will be introduced in lesson 17 and put them in that folder. And I'll continue doing that all the way through 25, adding cards as I need to. These are the memory verses that are by letter, and they do not have lesson numbers on them either. The way to figure out when you're introducing a new memory verse is to look at the Bible section, and it will tell you new verse A. That's the new verse you'll pull out, and you'll put that in the file folder. This is for lesson 16, so I'll be putting this in file folder 16. When we do the verse, it doesn't stay in here. I usually put these around the house in picture frames or on mirrors so that whenever my daughter walks by them, she can say one of the memory verses out loud. This book is the science subject for a Beka Academy, and it is not a workbook. It is more like a textbook. So when you open it up, you will not see the lessons at the bottom like you do in all the other workbooks. This has not come up in lessons 1 through 15 yet. It will come up later. But what the teacher does is has them turn to the book, and she will do things in this book with them. I hope you enjoyed me showing you how I organize the Beka curriculum, and I hope it gave you some ideas on how to do it yourself, or even if you want to buy it or not. One thing I really like about the Bible lesson is they do the Lord's Prayer every day and the Pledge of Allegiance, and 15 days into the lessons, my daughter already can recite the Lord's Prayer. I am going to do a video next about my daughter and how she watches the videos and does the worksheets and our setup for her table and everything like that. So watch for that. Bye.